What it is, y'all, it is your old boy Pilk, and I'm coming back at you today with more Danmachi. Now, today we're going to be talking about the incoming banner for the White Day event. Now, this banner is, I'm going to go ahead and say, just from the start, mid at absolute best, with a couple of exceptions. So, when I go into this, if I'm a little critical, it's because, honestly, the banner deserves it. Just real talk. I'm banner shaming right now. So, we're going to have two basic banners per usual. We're going to have this banner, and then we're going to have this banner. Now, let's go ahead and start off with banner number, I think this is actually banner number 2, but whatever. We're going to start off with the Eyes and Fin banner. Okay? Now, right out of the gate, you can kind of see the stats here for Eyes are actually pretty respectable. HP's about where I would kind of expect it. I would like a little bit better, but for a magic unit, actually pretty good. Magic Eyes is an interesting unit, and she's a beast killer, so you can kind of expect that already. Worth noting, all these units are non-time limited. Sorry, my hand cuts off there, but up there at the top, the little black bar that says non-time limited insinuates, and actually tells us, that all of these units are going to be available through 4-star draws, even 3-star tickets, 2-star tickets, all that good stuff. These units are going to be around. So you don't need to worry too much about, you know, what units are going to be here and there or whatever. These units are going to be available basically all over the place. So you don't need to go crazy now. You can always get them later. That said, like I said at the beginning, I really don't feel like these units are outstanding. Now, while she has good HP, her endurance is okay. Not out of this world, but okay. Dex is respectable, agility is very good, and magic is really outstanding for a magic stat. Triple S is always a great stat to have. Now, the skills are where we start to see a little bit of deficiency, okay? Now, when it comes to Eyes, skill 1, Self, fire attack damage and magic, plus 60% for 3 turns. That's average, honestly, for a self buff. Allies 30% less AoE damage taken. So in other words, she's going to debuff incoming damage by 30%. Only AoE, only not single target. But honestly, AoE is really, really, really important. You don't want to use this for Record Buster. I'm sorry, for Record Buster. You don't want to use this for Record Buster either. But you don't want to use this for War Game. Only reason I say that is because counters really just chip away at your health in War Game. So you really want somebody that does AoE and single target. So initially where you're like, maybe she's a good sack for War Game, not really, honestly. She's going to be good for some events, but not a huge number of them. And even then, like as a sack at most. Skill 2 is a fast, high, mid attack with alter and counter rate and magic resistance down 35%. Being a high attack really would have been great, you know, a year and a half ago. This stage of the game, I'm really looking for a superclass there with a little bit more of effect. Now, magic resistance down 35% is really good. That might be like the best skill she's got as a sack. But that's it. That's like literally it. That's all she's got. Skill 3, foe singular mid-fire attack. No, I take that back. So, let me credit this unit for skill 3. Mid-fire attack, magic attack, with 35% damage per fire and magic damage or magic buff skill on herself. So remember, on skill 3, these single target skills on AoE units generally give us 40% per 1 stat. She gives us 35% for 2 stats. Remember, she's going to buff fire attack and on herself and magic attack on herself, and you're going to want that buffed with assists. So really you're talking 4 buffs there. Now when I say normally, units would either get a they would get a buff, a 40% buff for either fire or magic, not both. So that would give a unit an 80% buff in realistically the type of scenario you'd use them in. The reason I say that is because you're going to get those buffs, or you're going to get those buffs on both the assist side and the adventure side. And so where normally you get 40% would become 80%, 35% twice over is going to become 140%. Now, being a mid attack starts to take that back a little bit. I'd really love to see that as being a high attack, but that's going to be a really good single target skill. Now, here is the biggest downside to this. That isn't going to be super effective in Record Buster. It's going to be okay, but not like the best thing you can do. It would be a fine unit to use if you don't have other good fire single target units. But I'm talking to newer players right now in the game. This is like, yeah, hello new players. You happen to pull this unit, great. You're going to use this unit in Record Buster for maybe about 3 or 4 months before you find better units and you just drop her altogether. So not really the best unit, not somebody you really want to lose your shirt on. Her essay, and that's of course the skill at the very top. I always go skill 1, skill 2, 3, then essays. Foes, plural, ultra fire magic attack. So it's an AoE attack with temporary magic boost, removes strength, magic, dex, endurance, and agility buffs, obviously with the exception of assist skills. This would be worthwhile in Wargame, but because her other skills are so mid, I really feel like it's not worthwhile. If you have her and you've got no other choice and you get that essay off, you're going to love the results, but she's not going to do a lot of damage. She doesn't have any percentage boosts there. She doesn't really have anything really to go for herself. She might hit respectably, but as far as units go, she's extremely mid. Maybe even like mid minus, like lower than mid. If I was going to give her a grade, it'd be like a C minus. It's just not worth summoning. Passives are wind resistance plus 35%, counters are fire magic attack damage, and lengthened foe debuff by 1 turn. That's actually kind of useful. That's nice. Not the end of the world, but nice. Piercing Strike, damage plus 15% upon penetration, magic agility and dex 35%, and of course Beast Killer 50% towards beasts. Don't summon, skip, 100% skip. Let's talk about Finn. Okay? Finn, HP 3855. I swear I can talk tonight. It's extremely late. I just streamed and now we're recording this, so pardon me if I'm a little on the fatigue side. I got to get up early in the morning, so I'm getting this recorded after stream, and then I'm going to go pass out, so I'm a little on the tired side. HP is 3855. That's respectable. Not perfect, but respectable. I would really love to see 100 extra health on him, so that already is a little bit of a deficiency. And I say that because physical units tend to be a little bit more chonky in the HP department than magic units. Strength's extremely good. Strength's great stat. Endurance is respectable. Dexterity is very good. Agility is okay. I mean, not okay. Agility's good. Not fantastic, but good. We have higher agility stats. We have dex stats, probably about the best you can get. Endurance, we've got better. So, and he's a beast killer, but a physical water unit. And skill-wise, a single target unit. Skill 1 is a strength, and so that's like someone you would use in Record Buster. It's a very good PvE skill. Strength and water attack damage plus 65% for 4 turns, and 3 additional actions, foe singular low water physical attack. So in other words, turns 2, 3, and 4, he's going to hit for that extra attack. Pretty nice. And then obviously on turn 4, you want to rebuff it, so he just basically keeps that going. Skill 2. So it's a strength and water attack buff. 65% once again is very mid. I'd love to see a 70% all stats, but 65 is not bad. It's just what we would expect to see like this time last year, to be honest. Foe singular, mid-water physical attack with temporary magic boost, physical resist and water resist minus 30%. Good skill, not end of the world stuff. Good skill. I think we can really do better. This point in the game, I'd really like to see 35% there. Maybe I'm just asking for too much, but it just feels extremely mid. When we have water resistance now, it's 40% already. The physical resist should be 35% if it's going to be physical and water. My 2 cents. Once again, this is an older skill. I really feel underwhelmed. Skill 3. Super water physical attack with high penetration rate. Extend debuffs by 2 turns. That's very nice, actually. I'm going to say that's extremely useful. Fire resist plus 35% and counter / regular attack or water physical attack damage. I feel like that portion of it, I think those are passives. I talked about this the other day. I feel like those are passive skills that never got that are kind of misread as being part of skill 3. I feel like fire resistance 35% is going to be part of his passive, and counter with regular attacks and water physical attack damage is going to be another part of the passive. So, yeah. Though the passives we'll get to in a minute. The passives are interesting. But the extending debuffs by 2 turns is a really interesting skill for skill 3. That is going to be nice. If there is any saving grace for Finn, it's that in Record Buster, especially Record Buster, where you're up against somebody that removes buffs but keeps debuffs in play, you can just spam skill 3 and it's going to be great. Special. Ultra Water, and it's a low MP cost too, so you really got nothing to lose there. Ultra Water Physical Attack, plus 30% per strength and magic buff damage on foe at the time of the attack. So in other words, if you debuff strength, debuff magic on all sides, that's going to give you 120%. If you're underwhelmed, I am too. I would expect 40% or better there. That is extremely underwhelming. Now, to be fair, that is 120% extra damage, so it's going to feel great. But let's bear in mind that if we go back over here, we have literally 35% on a single target with an AoE unit. It's a dedicated single target unit that has a lower buff. I digress. Underwhelming. Not at all pleased with what I see. Though, if I'm honest, I do kind of feel like these units were probably intended for last year, but we had the collabs and all that. So maybe these are units they kind of had like on the back burner for a while. Either way, just not impressed. Passives. Opposition, I already talked about this. I feel like it's going to be fire resist, 35% counter and regular attack damage, water physical attack. Opposition, ultra penetration rate on counter. That's really awesome. That's actually a really good skill. Piercing strike. So that's actually going to make his skill 3 even more effective because, I mean, not his skill 3, but his single target. Basically, when I look at a unit like this, I say this would be really fun to run in Record Buster. You do skill 1, you do skill 2, and then you just spam skill 3 as often as possible because skill 3 is going to hurt. Notice skill 3 even actually looks like, though if I'm honest, the big downside to skill 3, there's no percentage buff. So I take that back. It's still not worth. Though the ultra penetration rate on counter would feel good, you might chip away over time at that. He's just kind of still mid. Piercing strike 20% upon penetration. Strength, agility, and dex plus 35%. And beast killer. Just not worth, guys. Totally not worth. Now, I say that. I really love the assists on these banners. Allies, fire attack damage plus 20%, foes guard rate and heal rate minus 25%. This is going to be a killer skill in Wargame. Remember, a lot of people still use lead. He's a fire unit. Fire attack damage plus 20%. You get rid of their guard rate, you get rid of their heal. That's going to be monstrous. Mark my words. If you want my opinion, probably what you should do, hit Bets OnlyFans. Like, do the guaranteed for like the $20 because we're about to get the discounted Iris. So buy the discounted Iris, buy Bet, hope for 2 or 3 of them, and then drop some Prism Bonds on them. That's a great option. That's about the best option you're going to get. Now, you don't want Bet on a really important character. HP is over 1,000. That's very good. That's a good skill. I like seeing that. MP is not great. Physical attack is garbage. Magic attack is garbage. And defense is tolerable. Agility is really good, though. Dex and agility are fantastic skills for him. The only thing to bear in mind here, this is at max limit break. That's going to become 20%, and I believe these are going to become 20. Sorry, that's going to become 15%, and these are going to become 20% if he's not max limit broken. Though, to be fair, they drop even lower if he's not level 60, but why would you run an assist if you've not done the upgrades that don't cost any, bonds? Like, just get units to level 60, guys. Or, I say as I have a lot of units that aren't at level 60, but then I don't use them. So if you're going to use a unit, get them at level 60 minimum. But I really feel like a unit like this, you're going to want a max limit break. Very good unit. Wonderful. like I said, I'm going to do the paid banner, and that's it. I'm going to do the paid banner and just got to like walk away and go, I did a thing. Let's talk about this banner. Once again, lots of mids, and I do love the assist. And I hate to say that, but you guys know I'm going to pull tons of the assist because, well, who it is. Belle is the first adventure on this banner. HP leaves, once again, a little bit to be desired. I'd love to see 150 more minimum on a physical unit. Maybe I'm nitpicking, maybe it's a little bit too much, but I really feel like that is a good place for a physical unit right now. That said, physical attack is a fantastic number. Over 2,000 is wonderful. I cannot complain about that. Endurance is good. Dex is okay. Dex could be better. Agility is extremely good. So the stats are kind of interesting on him. I would love more endurance. Endurance is okay, actually. I take that back. Endurance is not quite perfect, but very good. Dex leaves a little bit to be desired, but strength really, or I'm sorry, agility really makes up for all that. So stats look great, don't get me wrong. And he's got Beast Killer. Now, if we move over here to his skills, this is where, once again, I get to be a little disappointed. Skill 1, foes plural, low water physical attack, and foes minus 25% water resist dex. Water resist and dex, and self 85% strength. So I love the 85% strength. That's great. That's a fantastic skill. 25% water resistance is like, why did you bother? Why did you bother? Now, I do like the dex 25% down. That's interesting. Coupled with water resistance, I don't think that's bad. But if you're going to do water resistance on a unit like this, and you want them to be relevant in this time, minimum 30% if they're coupled with something else. So like 30% water resistance, dex minus 25%. That'd be good. I'd prefer to see water resistance down 35% and dex down 25%. But that's, once again, nitpicking. I feel like the water resistance portion of this unit is just a waste. That said, the 85% strength is fan-frickin-tastic. But notice what he's missing. Skill 2, fast, mid-water physical attack, 10% seal, and 20% physical resist and ailment resistance for 2 turns. No water attack damage buff. It's all the strength buff. And it is worth noting that he is really there for the seal more than anything else. He is an ailment unit, but I'm going to be honest, 10% seal is extremely underwhelming, at least to me. I've got units that have 15% stats on their ailments, and I just wouldn't even consider running them. Maybe I'm overlooking that. Considering it's an AoE, you're going to hit, because it's a wargame build. It's 100% a wargame build. You're going to hit your opponents, and each unit's going to have a 10% chance to get sealed. But that still is like, you got 4 units there. You have a total of a 40% chance of stunning or of sealing one of those units. Not great. Not great. Skill 3 is a super water physical attack with high critical rate and temporary strength boost, but no percentage boost, so it's garbage. SA, ultra water physical attack with temporary strength boost and 50% seal. Now, 50% seal is fantastic. I like that, but you got to get to like turn 4, turn 3 if you're super lucky. But realistically, turn 4 in Wargame before that's even a thing. By that point, now I say that as ailment teams do tend to go a long time. Ailment teams tend to last a long time in Wargame, and they just kind of chip away at your health little by little. So that is a little bit more useful in there. And that literally is every unit on the team flips a coin and goes, I'm sealed or I'm not. What do we got here? So I do like that skill. I don't know if that makes him worthwhile, though. I'm sure people that run ailment teams are going to be spamming this guy, but I just don't, for me, I just don't, maybe I'm not up on the ailment meta. I've really not been good with my ailment builds, but I really just don't see a good value in him. That said, most of you guys that are watching this video, you're shooting for King 1, things like that. You're not going to be doing ailment builds. Ailment builds are for, like, you know, people that wail in the game and stuff like that. I really don't feel like most of the people watching this video are going to benefit from an ailment build. So I'm still going to say pass. Hard pass. Okay? So, passives are Fast Growth and Nullify Charm, like every single bell out there. Water Manifestation. Fire Resistance plus 35%, which we kind of could have figured. When countering and attacking a regular foe, attack a foe with Water Element. See, like, that is kind of why I expected the other one to be a passive skill. I think it's just I think it's just misrepresented in the data. I feel like the data is just confusing our Mang who makes these pages. It's no big deal. It's not an attack at him by any stretch. He does a great job, and I'm very, very happy that Yoko's able to make these cells for us. I just feel like the data is kind of... I feel like they may have like miswritten it or something in the previous data, so that's that. Counterattack damage plus 50%, luck, all status plus 25%, and beast killer skill. Once again, pretty straightforward. Walk away with your head held high and say, I don't need that unit. Reveria, magic fire unit. HP is 3639, and I feel like that's once again pretty low. I feel like we could do so much better. MP is great though. MP almost 400, and that's going to get even higher with CP levels. So MP is fantastic. Magic stat is really good. Endurance is okay. I'd love to see a little bit more. Dex is good, and agility is really, really good. So once again, kind of a mixed bag. Aside from HP and endurance, though, great stats. And once again, a beast killer. Also, if you're wondering, these are the weapons that these units require. So if you're looking for the weapon, all the stats are right here, guys. Now, let's look at her stats. Skill 1, foes. Fast, low fire magic attack with fire resistance minus 30%. We've got better in the game. Self fire attack damage plus 90% for 5 turns. So fire attack damage 90% for 5 turns is pretty awesome. Let me explain why I feel like element damage plus that much is better than like strength or magic damage plus that much. And my answer to that is Haruhime. You can get off Haruhime's SA turn 4. Turn that into strength 100%, or in her case magic 100%, fire attack damage plus 90%, and she'll hit like a bloody truck. Skill 2, super fire magic attack damage plus 60% per self fire attack damage buff. Shorten self's fire attack damage buff by 1 turn. If you have Haruhime on this team, you're not scared by that. You are absolutely not terrified by skill 2. Skill 2 is a joke to you. It literally just becomes watch Reveria wreck, destroy, and laugh at everybody. Reveria is really, really, really good. Mark my words on that one. Reveria is definitely, if anybody, one to go after in this banner. Remember I said her stats at the beginning were a little questionable, though. But I think what she's capable of here really makes up for it. Now, I don't know if she's going to be that great in Wargame. I'd have to try her out. We will definitely be trying her out and considering that. She might replace Lead. Yeah, I said that. She might replace Lead. Maybe. Really got to see how she works out. That said, most people probably still want to pass on her. As crazy and as insane as she's going to be, especially if she gets any kind of magic boost. Because, I mean, that skill 2 is going to just rob people of their lives in Wargame. It's going to be foul. We will try her out. We'll do some testing with her in Wargame after she drops, and I'll have that video out for you guys hopefully either Thursday or Friday. I'm going to plan that out. Man, I really can't wait to see what she does, but I'm also cautiously optimistic, shall we say. Skill 3 is a high fire magic attack damage plus 60% per self fire attack damage buff. Literally just the same thing as skill 2, and that is that rare situation where an AoE unit might be really, really, really useful in Record Buster. I think she's going to be stellar. And remember, we have a Familia Royale coming up, which I assure you, one of the units in there is going to have a low fire resistance. And I think this is a rare unit that's going to be really spectacular on AoE situations and single target situations. Maybe I'm overhyping her. Maybe I'm really looking at her front with like my rose-tinted goggles on of OMG, she's going to be awesome with Haruhime's buff. Without Haruhime's buff, she might be fairly mid. That said, skill 2 I think makes up for it, and skill 3 definitely does too. Now, her essay. Ultra Fire magic attack with temporary magic boost and counter rate and penetration rate minus 50%. You're not ever going to use her essay. You use your skill 1 to buffer. You're going to use your skill 2 to do AoE damage. You're going to use your skill 3 to do single target damage. She is going to be awesome. 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 And notice skill 3 doesn't reduce her fire attack damage buff. So in situations like Wrecker Buster, she's going to be broken. She'll be a fantastic skill 3 unit to just hammer down every single turn with a 29 MP cost. You really don't have to worry about her. Have I said I love this unit? I love this unit. I wish the fire and magic resistance was 35% instead of 30%, but you already know how to take advantage of that. You know how to, like, we already have a fire resistance down 40%, sack that unit. Once you sack that unit, it won't matter what the magic resistance is. Though we do have other units that do magic resistance down 35%, so just build your team out accordingly. I really feel like she's that good. Me, personally, maybe I'm wrong. If you disagree, definitely put it in the comments section down below. That said, let me say this. If you do not have 8,000 Iris, listen to me now. Listen to me good. Do not summon until you ponder this. They have said that the next event after this could very well be, they said it in the live stream, the next event after this is most likely going to be the collab. Let me repeat that. The next event following the White Day event may very well be that collab that's been hyped for so long. I told you guys it was coming. We said at the earliest end of March. I feel like they should still do an AOT rerun. That might be what they're talking about, and then they would do the other one after April Fools. I feel like that's the right timing for that just lineup. But if you do not have enough Iris right now for the collab, stop. Don't summon, save. You will regret it if you do not have enough Iris to go all in the collab. 8,000 Iris for the collab, 10,000 for the rerun. We don't know if there's going to be a rerun. It has not been confirmed, but I feel like there's a great possibility. I'm 99% sure that they're going to do Attack on Titan. If they do not, it is an insane, and I mean insane, miss on their part. So before you consider that, before you consider Riveria and how great she's going to be at everything, save for the collab. I can't say that loud enough. That said, I could be wrong about her. We're going to have Wrecker Buster this week. We already know that. That is confirmed. We could test her in Wargame. Before you make your decision on what to do with her, wait till we test her out. Wait till we give her an honest to goodness attempt. Because she could just be bad. And maybe I'm overthinking it. It is possible. I don't think that's going to be the case, but it is possible. So wait for the assessments. Wait for the trials. Try her out for yourself. You can always try her out in Wargame. I'll show you guys how to do that when we do the video. So don't get too excited yet. Also, bear in mind, you could pull this worthless unit. I say worthless. Maybe I'm underestimating Bell. I usually do have a tendency to underestimate Bell units, but I really feel like this unit is definitely top tier on this banner. Aside from this unit. Physical resist down 20%, magic dex and endurance down 15%. Now, we talked about this the other day. Also, 1,000 HP with a 604 physical attack. It is worth noting, this is the highest physical attack stat for a unit that does physical resistance down. The other unit that does physical resistance down, which is Ares. I called him Apollo the other day. Ares. Ares' physical resistance down, his base physical stat is 540. Gareth's is higher. Now, I'll say this. If you have Ares, it is not mandatory to summon for Gareth. You're going to be fine. Gareth is going to be marginally better. I wouldn't even say significantly better. Marginally better. So if you're summoning for a variant and you get Gareth, like I'm sure I'm going to get a million of them, great. But, and this is a huge but, if you have Ares and you need to save for the collab, there's really no harm in that. There's no harm whatsoever. And remember, these stats are going to be cut down. That 20% is going to go down to 15. This 15 is going to go down to 10% at level 60. So if you're going to go in here to get the assists, definitely MLB them. Otherwise, it's not really worth. Opinion piece. So, all in all, should you summon? I'm going to say no. Let's try Reveria out before we make our final decision on that. If you do insist on going after the assists, my recommendation would be pay for the Iris to do their guaranteed draws. That's my recommendation. And then if you can, put Prism Bonds into them or something like that. That's my recommendation. That's my honest opinion here. I feel like if you lose your shirt on this banner with as close as we are to the collab, and as much as they've kind of teased the collab, I feel like it's a massive, 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 massive mistake. But that's the video, guys. That's my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'm going to be back at you guys with more Danmachi. We are going to have the data mines coming up later on today. So keep an eye out for that. And, of course, the live stream tonight, assuming my internet holds out, which it didn't last night. But tonight at 9 p.m., we're going to try to live stream. We'll see what happens. Also, subscribe and hit the little thumbs up button. See y'all next time.